remembrance of the hostage crisis. Militant students supporting Iran's Islamic Revolution stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and took scores of hostages. Ultimately, 52 Americans were held hostage in the embassy for 444 days. This soon became known as the Iranian hostage crisis. In 1979, when this disastrous situation took place, I had decided that the American people should know what is really occurring in Iran. Risking my own life as a U.S. citizen in an Islamic country, I believe that it was my duty to interview citizens of Tehran and see what their thoughts are about the situation. Let's stay back to this interview with two citizens of Tehran. Hi, good evening. I'm Diane Sterling, and we're going to be talking with two Iranian citizens in Tehran, Iran, about the crisis situation. So please welcome Mr. and Mrs. Gugoshi.
Hello, how are you? Mwah, mwah. چطوری?
Hello, how are you? You're so cute.
American girls are very pretty, don't you think, honey?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
How are you?
first I want to just ask you, what's the situation like here? How do you feel? Is it crazy? Is it hectic? What is it like?
Right now, in this moment, with like all the U.S. people in the U.S. embassy and the Iranian students surrounding it, I just feel like we're doing the right thing. Because Americans just come to my land and they expect demand like stuff from us. But like we give them oil, we give them everything, they give us nothing. And then they come to my land, my soil, and just take it away from me. I think what we're doing is very fair.
Well, what do you think about your shop?
This show is very bad, man.
Yeah.
He is dictator. He's not giving us freedom that we deserve. We want to be independent people. That we
So
can
you
live a
believe
happy
in
life.
revolutionizing
Yes,
your
Yeah.
Khomeini is going to lead us to revolution. He's very smart man. I've heard his speech. He's talking about the true things. He's saying
Religion. Practice my religion.
He's
Muslim.
saying practice Muslim. He's saying he's going to give us freedom. He's
Yeah.
a
Okay,
very
well,
good man.
if you
Yeah.
were Americans, if you two were Americans and you were held in that embassy, how would you feel?
I think it was. I
would
deserve
feel
it.
scared.
I think I deserve it. Because why would I come to some other land and take stuff away from them and it's not mine? Like, you don't see Iranians going to America taking stuff, so why would Americans? I think it's good.
Okay, well, that's the end of it. As you can tell, the Iranians are hurt and it's
Yeah.
our job to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
That interview took place 10 years ago where I was talking to Iranian citizens. Now I'm lucky enough to be sitting here with an American diplomat named Mr. Simmons, who will give us the real details on how he felt being trapped in the actual embassy. So Mr. Simmons, I want to get down to the point, very simple, and I just want to ask you, do you think Jimmy Carter was a good president, and did you think that he handled the situation well?
So first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me on your show and to be interviewing me. And now actually back to your question. Me personally being trapped in that in the embassy, it's just a feeling that you can't really describe. And Jimmy Carter is supposed to be our commander-in-chief and he's supposed to be the leader of our nation. So I definitely did expect a lot more to be done. We were all trapped for 444 days and it was a horrible event because at any moment we didn't know what could happen. These Iranian people could have stormed in and killed all of us. So we expected a lot more physical action by Jimmy Carter, but except we got more economic action because Jimmy Carter froze all Iranian assets, which is pointless because that's more towards their economy and that's not affecting the actual people. So I definitely believe that Jimmy Carter could have done a lot more. He could have taken some physical action, maybe actually send some U.S. Troops to actually maybe help us escort us out of the embassy and get us home safely. It was ridiculous because he's supposed to be the president of this nation. He's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to help his people with whatever they need. But again, it was just a horrible incident, and I definitely I lost respect for him.
Thank you so much, Mr. Simmons, for giving us your personal opinion. It's always nice to have someone that was actually there at the hostage to tell us about his story. So thank you so much, and I hope we can have you here again.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great honor. I love the show, so it was really fun being here. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to be having a live Skype chat with an Iranian citizen who was present during the Iranian hostage crisis. So, Ali Amini, first I'd like to ask you, You were there when everything happened, so what do you recall from that day?
Hi, first of all, I want to say hi and thank you for having me on your show tonight. I want to mention that I remember this very vividly. It was on November 4th, 1979, when Iranian students stormed into the US Embassy in Tehran. They seized all the staff and employees. They kept 52 students and 52 US citizens in the building. They were trapped, they were considered hostages. It was very harsh for them because they were limited on food, supplies, they didn't have any connection to the outside world. And this all started when our dictator Shah fled to, not fled, but was given permission to fly to New York for his cancer treatment. And then us as Iranian citizens we felt betrayed by our own dictator. So we really took the actions upon ourselves. So what we did was we basically took over the U.S. Embassy, having every student in there. Now, I personally don't believe it was the right thing to do because it's a government issue, not like all the students who were trapped in the U.S. Embassy, they didn't have anything to do with the whole thing. So I really believe that it wasn't the right way, but it was one way.
Now, personally, you were there, you saw everything happen. What do you think, as a citizen, were the causes of this hostage crisis?
All right. So there were quite a few causes that led to this event, unfortunately. But before that, I want to also mention that out of the 52 people who were held hostage, African Americans and females were released. But then everyone else, for around 46 people, I believe, I'm not sure, around 46 people, they had to live another 444 days inside the U.S. Embassy. And there were, as I mentioned, there were a lot of different reasons that led up and caused Iranian revolutions. And one of them was the fact that the United States overthrows Iranian government. Iranians were very mad because this is our government, and when U.S. messed around with our government, we weren't really happy about that. The other one is when the economic growth crashed the lower class people. That's when Shah took dictatorship and he wanted to become the ruler of Iran. Not everyone agreed with him because he didn't practice our religion, Muslim, so we weren't really happy about that. And the other one is obviously the Islamic Revolution, which again was due to Shah, and that's when Khomeini came into action, and the Iranian Revolution began right after, or actually during the time period of the Iranian hostage crisis. It started in 1979 and then it continued throughout the next decade.
Okay, thank you so much. This is great, and we really got an inside look on how it felt in Iran. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for having me.
That concludes tonight's show, The Untold Stories of the Iranian Hostage Situation. Please tune in next week to hear the untold stories of the Cold War.